We remember what this weekend, this holiday is all about. There are many who are upset that some of our leaders in this country do not quite remember the meaning of this weekend. Here is a tweet that is causing some outrage out there in the social media sphere. It's a tweet from Vice President Kamala Harris, where she wished you the following greeting: enjoy the long weekend, with a picture
the long weekend
of herself. Yeah, that prompted, Carly, some tweets like the following. This is from our own Joey Jones. He said, "Hey, Kamala Harris, my buddies wanted me to post our selfie to tell you to enjoy the long weekend, too." You can see on the wall behind him some of his lost, fallen soldiers.
Absolutely. You're right. On social media, the responses were strong and quick, and rightfully so. Another one from Robbie Starbuck, Tennessee congressional candidate, wrote this: "I know you think the long weekend is a chance to post a pic of yourself and get some mimosas as you plan to rip our country apart. But it's actually a time to appreciate the brave soldiers who died for our country and to reflect on the lifetime their families will spend without them." Someone tell Kamala Harris it's more than a long weekend. I thought about this. There's so many pictures going around on the internet about this. One of them shows the landing craft at Normandy Beach. You know, long weekend.
Long weekend.
Or soldiers storming Iwo Jima, long weekend. And you think about, we talk so much about Antifa or anti-racist. Talk about the real anti-fascists and the real anti-racists, those men in World War II or who've worn the uniform to go fight real fascism and real racism around the world. And what's the view that you're in a position of such power where people look to you and your only answer is, look at me, I'm cute, have a long weekend?
Unbelievable. You know, one of the reasons I think President Trump won in 2016 is because the country just experienced 8 years of those kinds of messages. Remember President Obama's apology tour, where he would go to other countries, make speeches, basically apologizing for America being the leading nation in the world and we have to do better. And then when President Trump announced that he was running for president, his message was, no, let's not do that. Let's be America first. Let's be proud of who we are as a nation. And it really spoke to a lot of people. Now we are going back to that Obama era of apologies and have a nice long weekend on Memorial Day. She's the vice president. That tweet may be acceptable for not a politician, maybe, you know, just somebody and that's not running for office or anything like that, but she is the second most powerful person in the world. She said on Memorial Day, have a nice long weekend.
To your point, we've gone from military parades, wanting to have a military parade, to have a long weekend.
Meanwhile, the most powerful person in the world is her boss, President Joe Biden. He tweeted the following. He said, "Stay cool this weekend, folks."
And that's
they're really pushing the ice cream thing with the vice president, too.
You know, Pete, I'm thinking about what you
president
had to say, and I think in so many ways our society, and I'm going to use the word we as a proverbial here, we've become so spoiled. We are the spoiled grandchildren, the spoiled great-grandchildren, the people that truly built this country from a place where your freedom wasn't something you could so easily take for granted. Now, I say that recognizing people like yourself have gone far and wide to protect this country's freedoms. We still have soldiers to this day stationed all across this world. But when it remains so far away, when it isn't here on a daily basis, when it doesn't threaten your narrow worldview for many Americans as they go about their daily lives, you can begin to think this is just a long weekend. You can begin to forget what has been done and what continues to be done to ensure it's more than just a long weekend.
You're very well said. But you would think someone like Joe Biden would know better, right? I mean, so many generations, so many iterations, so many things that happen. Now you have the gravity of the Oval Office. You would spend, and I'm sure there'll be a Memorial Day message. I know he's going to a program today. They're going to recognize it, but taking every opportunity to not be flippant about it, you would think you would want to permeate the gravity of the weekend with all you're talking about, and it just doesn't.
And to be clear, we know that Vice President Kamala Harris and President Biden, they didn't type those messages out. They didn't tweet that themselves. I'm sure they have a social media team. But the people who you hire reflect your principles and reflect what your messaging is. And it doesn't seem like, you know, the military and honoring our country is a top priority for Democrats as they try and change the country into a more progressive view.
I actually thought about this. If she had tweeted some full-throated, rah-rah America, you know, Memorial Day, thank you, she's going to get hit from the left wing of her party really hard.
I'd love to see that experiment play out.
Yeah. It's sad. It's a sad reality, but it's where we are.
Coming up a little bit later in the show, we'll have Representative Brian Mast, Republican from Florida. He'll respond coming up 8 o'clock Eastern Time here on the program.
That's right.
Yeah, he gave a portion of his body to our country.
Exactly, one of our
great,
absolutely, yeah. So in the meantime,